It is my hope that every single Sunday you come here, you come wondering. My hope is that every Sunday you show up, including this Sunday, saying, I wonder where Jesus is going to show up today. I wonder if he's going to show up in the song that we sing. I wonder if he's going to show up and start talking to me during the prayer time. I wonder if he's going to say something through the sermon. My hope is that we'll come looking to hear or feel the power and the presence of God. When we go to God, he comes to us in a variety of wonderful and sometimes supernatural ways, because he wants to show us he's real. And that's our next section of text, the show. Verses 5 through 10, if you want to follow along as I read. In their fright, the women bowed down their faces to the ground, but the men said to them, why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, he is risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men, be crucified, and then on the third day be raised again. Then they remembered his words. When they came back from the tomb, they told all of these things to the 11 and to all of the others. It was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the mother of James, and others with them who told the apostles. Here's the show. The supernatural shows up. Sometimes God literally has to show us stuff. We can't just hear it. We can't just read it. And the show is incredibly obvious. The women have been wondering, hey, show us Jesus. Show us where he is. And that's where the pivotal question is asked at the end of verse 5. And that's the show question in number 2. Why do you look for the living among the dead? Why do you look for the living among the dead? How many of you folks have seen the movie Princess Bride? Any Princess Bride fans? A few? A couple? There's this poignant moment in this movie where the hero has died. He has died. And they took him to a little man called Miracle Max. And do you remember what Miracle Max said? Because he was dead. But Miracle Max said, well, he might not be 100% dead. And they said, really? Well, what do you do with a guy who's 100% dead? And Miracle Max goes, well, you go through his pockets and look for loose change. That's what you do with a person who's 100% dead. Unless you love them. Unless you love them like those ladies did. And they said, you know what? We're going to go and we're going to continue to love him. Even though he's dead. Those ladies were doing all they thought they should do. Because they loved Jesus. But they knew the facts. Some of them had even seen Jesus die. They knew the show was over, according to the facts. Did you know that God doesn't give a hoot about your bad, sad past? When you look back through the Bible, the fact was Goliath was huge and mean and nasty. And David was this spindly little boy. Fact is, he's a dead man. Show's over. Goliath is just squashing. At least that's what Goliath was. Do you remember Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? They were getting thrown in a furnace that was getting made 10 times as hot as it was before. Fact is, they're dead men when they hit those flames. Or maybe Daniel. Remember Daniel? He got to spend the night in the lion's den. Dead man. Well, those dead men were, according to the facts, gone. But God said, no. I'm going to show myself through their lives. And as a witness, so that they will show the world I am real. Don't be looking for what's alive in the dead. How did God show that He's real in your life? How has He done it in the past? And have you shared that with people? Moreover, how does God need to show He's alive in the future? How do you need God to show up in your life? What graveyard are you wandering around in this morning? Is it the graveyard of dead dreams? Is it the graveyard of a dead marriage? Is it the graveyard of a dead job? Is it the graveyard of a child's future? What are those things in your life that God needs to breathe new life and resurrection power into this morning? Ask Him to show up. We're going to finish out with verses 11 and 12. You can follow along there. But they did not believe the women, because their words seemed like nonsense. Peter, however, got up and ran to the tomb. Bending over, he saw the strips of linen lying by themselves, and he went away wondering to himself, what had happened? First I had to focus on a whole bunch of words for the go. Then I had to just focus on one sentence for the show. Now, I'm going to have you do just one word. Just focus on one word. This is the no word. This is the word that shows a defiant faith. This is the word that says, yeah, my peers don't believe this, but I do. This is a word that shows there's a hunger to know Jesus. The ladies that we read about had to go. Then they wanted to show. But when they came back to let the men know, they said, no. Nonsense, ladies. What you're talking about is just pure nonsense. Well, then we run into that beautiful word. Have you guessed it? Let's throw it up on the top. The no word is however. However, it made no sense what they were saying. His peers didn't believe it. The facts were in. In fact, Peter betrayed Jesus. However, he hadn't abandoned hope. He needed to know. However, Peter ran. Now, I do appreciate that it does say that he ran. Now, I might be making some generalizations here, but as a person who has reached 40 years old, I think I can honestly make some observations about being a man